Hi guys, how's it going? Okay, so I'm going to talk about the Mercury retrograde coming up, and I'm calling this Mercury retrograde a Destined and Delulu retrograde because it's going to be happening in Pisces and it's going to be conjuncting the North Node. So it's like fate and destiny and making adjustments so we can really get soulfully aligned in the right direction. And then it goes direct when on the spring equinox. So that's perfect timing with being able to start the new year after making the adjustments. So let's get into it. So we start out on the 11th with Mercury in shadow, and Mercury is going to be conjuncting the North Node. So this is fate, this is destiny, this is where we're being pushed towards the new, towards soul growth and evolution. So we start out on the 11th when Mercury is going in shadow. So this is what we're coming back to. Everything that happens that kind of is a delay, is a miscommunication, is something you need to kind of reprogram your mind with, because that's what Mercury retrogrades are the best with, is reprogramming your mindset and releasing any limiting beliefs or anything that you've been stuck on, so you can kind of free yourself into, more expansion ultimately, because the North Node wants to bring you towards more expansion. And I'm going to be doing something a little bit differently with this horoscope, because I'm going to use the charts how I have been using it in my everyday life. And I've been using the real sky to connect with the higher timelines in your higher self. And then I use tropical for looking at the physical. So we are multidimensional beings, and this kind of just gives you more options, more opportunity to expand and grow and to see the flexibility that is truly in our reality. So yeah. So Mercury conjuncting the North Node with the whole sky. Spiritually, we're really getting aligned with more options, innovation. We could be getting future visions and downloads, and we could just be pulled in certain directions that more so align with our nervous system, because Aquarius is all about the nervous system, and we're going to feel it when we're not in alignment. The way to get into alignment is to really prioritize your nervous system. And you can do this with somatics, with sound healing, with meditation, getting into your body and letting yourself know that you're safe. Because when you do that, then you do receive the visions and the clarity and the directions that you should be going in. Community is key too. So whoever's really you're not vibing with, the people you hang out on a daily basis, or friends or networks, whoever you're not vibing with would be really would really bring extra friction now, because the universe is basically saying, let go of those people so these new people can come in, that are like-minded people. Because it's kind of like we're in this era where just vibration is going to be so much more felt. And the more that you're out of sync with somebody, it's like just a lot of friction. And then when you're with the right relationships, it just amplifies like both of your energies and the direction that you're going in. And it's like a big creative boost versus like being, limited and capped off and just the friction happening. So that's how you can kind of get into alignment to receive those higher visions. And yeah, then in the physical, you can see in Pisces, the Mercury on the North Node in Pisces. This is about having compassion, that unconditional love, being very heart-based. The more that we can be high vibe and get into that unconditional love, then we also receive the downloads. But wherever there is friction, we can truly just get into our heart and get into our body to get that subconscious guidance. It's going to be very, very powerful to be in your body and your heart to kind of know what directions and what changes kind of need to be made. And any changes that need to be made are going to be, you can have those conversations that are just full of love and empathy. And I love, the spiritual embodiment that we do have in the New Age or whatever. It's like, oh, only love and light. But I feel like Pisces are the most spiritual, because they can feel the highs of the highs, and then sometimes they just have a knife or a gun in their purse also. So it's like being able to just scale along the emotional scale. So, but you have mastery of that. So you are choosing how you actually want to feel. And that's like true power. Because we are in 3D reality. Sometimes you have to be defensive or whatever. And sometimes you can't be all love and light. But at the end of the day, you have that option to choose. And then choosing love, love and light as often as you can. But yeah, this is pushing you also towards soul connections that you feel that heart connection with, and you just feel like you can surrender more. There's more power right now with less control and just more surrendering and kind of just opening up to like the bigger picture. Sometimes we have to let ourselves be like an empty vessel to be able to receive like what is best for us. Like if your manifestations aren't working and if you feel like you're pushing and pushing and pushing, sometimes you really just have to surrender and like meditate and just say, what should I be doing then? Where should I be going? And you will get an answer. You get into your body, you get into your heart, and you meditate, and you can really just listen to what that soulful direction is and where you should be going. So pay attention this day. There might be something that comes into your orbit versus, and it can be through communication, a friend, something you hear, some interaction that happens that you're like, okay, this is like the direction that we're kind of being pushed into. That is fate, that is destiny, that is going to lead to expansion and growth, and it feels good. That is going to be more relevant during the eclipses. So we kind of move even more so in that direction. And then we have the sun, or then we have the retrograde happening actually on the 25th, which is also a very interesting day because that is going to be the sun conjuncting the North Node too, or it's at least close enough, in the next couple days. So our conscious awareness is kind of aware of this. Like we're able to step into more embodiment to move in a certain direction. And with Aquarius, maybe we're recognizing that people or systems that we want to be truly devoted to. And with Pisces, we're just listening to that soul pull. It's kind of funny, like, with Pisces, it's kind of like, you have to have those soulful boundaries. So like those, like really listening to yourself and making sure that your energy isn't like all scattered all over the place, and that you're setting those boundaries with what your soul truly wants, what is the most fulfilling, where do you need to spend your energy more so on, so you're not like so scattered all over the place. So I feel like these are, very in sync. But you personally, with the sun on the North Node, might be driven towards the new, towards opportunities, towards soul growth and expansion, and just letting yourself live in higher embodiment. Actually, this is like a really great couple days to be like, okay, we're just going to be that now, and choosing to be it, live it, exploring the new directions, doing something random, kind of living more so in flow, going towards what is going to feed the soul. So Mercury going retrograde is coming back to Venus, and Venus is the heart. And it's asking you, what do you truly value about life, love, money? This is where we can truly get connected to the heart and then to source again. So we really truly get in alignment with what is going to be for our highest good. And Mercury already conjunct Venus. So it's like coming back to this. So there might be other communications and conversations that you have with certain relationships or new ideas when it comes to creating. This is happening in Pisces again. So yeah, just that soul direction and listening to your intuition. And it's all about trust, all about faith, all about following the vibe. You don't really truly know where you're going with Pisces a lot of the time, but you're following the vibe, and that's taking you in the right direction. So yeah, there can be some like kind of more clarity this day with, where you're going. And then we have Mercury that will be trining Jupiter. So this is really nice because Mercury going retrograde, making a trine to Jupiter, there's some sort of just expansion that's going to be happening. And Jupiter will be going direct, pretty soon. So with with the trine to Jupiter in Gemini. This is all about options, communication, yeah, just soul connections that really truly feel aligned, and ideas that might just suddenly pop in your mind. And with Jupiter in Cancer, there's a lot of expansion and growth in the physical when it comes to going towards home and family. And if you don't have good relationships with your family right now, then soul family. And yeah, I love it, just choosing to go towards people that feel like home and finding a lot of expansion with that, but also at the same time finding what gives you that nurturance and that stability and that foundation in life, because we want to have that really firm foundation, at least with the core of our being, so we can listen to spirit and expand some more with all these different opportunities and, yeah, different ways of expanding and options and choosing the right options that are actually good for us. So yeah, we can find that innovation, because that is the best way to find innovation, is really connecting to source and getting on your own path. You know what I've been like really obsessed with lately, and I think it's because things have been in Aquarius: egregores and pendulums. So if you don't know, like, how you align with your right group is that you never want to be always absorbed in a full group that is just doing things. You always want to get back into yourself and into the core of who you truly are, because we all have our own individual path and we all need to get into our own sovereignty and our own individual authority and reclaiming that. And that's very important, spiritually with Aquarius, like that we have to have that internal authority with what is right for us, what is going to give us the most expansion. Because with pendulums, that is how wars have happened out in the world, because everyone just joins in on this idea and you don't know that this is happening, but on an energetic level, you're actually tuning in subconsciously, or you're tuning into a certain frequency. So egregores can be belief systems, they can be political figures, namely Trump. He gets fed from both sides right now. They can be sports teams, they can be schools, like anything that people are collectively believing in can be an egregore. And it's okay to believe in that, but you always bring it back to your center, because otherwise you get lost in the herd. Because when you're tuning into that belief system or that person or whatever it is, you're tuning into that frequency, and your subconscious is tuning into that frequency too. So there's an energetic exchange back and forth. And that's why there's this Trump derangement syndrome and people that will just go collectively bunched together and get out of control, whether it's with riots or with wars or whatever. And I think that's going to be easier and easier and easier to do now. With us moving into the age of energy, people can get riled up a lot faster and a lot more just like grouped up and then going ham and like kind of not doing what is actually true to them. So I don't know why that story came up right now, but that's, if you want to look into reality transurfing, they talk about pendulums. And biblically, they're called egregores, but it's basically a collective thought thing that, you can join in on, but it's important to bring it back to yourself. So yeah, that could be that kind of like. So ultimately, physically, you want to go towards what feels good, what feels like home, what gets you really grounded, and then, be open to the ideas that are really coming from source and your own individual connection. Okay. And then we have Mars conjuncting the North Node on, it's worth mentioning because, Mercury is conjuncting the North Node pretty soon, and Mercury will be stationing like pretty much on the North Node. So with Mars conjuncting the North Node, like this is like your drive, how you want to take action, your ego, and just wanting to maybe break through the mold. So you could be connected to some sort of like idea or way of innovating things or a future vision, and you feel really passionate about it and you want to take action towards it. And then in the physical with Pisces, you want to make sure it's like very physical, just really aligned with your heart and your soul, and you're being, called towards it. And it feels good. Like it feels like you're just moving more so in flow with who you truly are. And yeah, this is just a day where whatever this like movement forward is, it's going to be you're going to get way more clarity with it because Mars is loud. Mars is like, this is the direction, let's go. And then when Mercury comes in a couple days later, it's like, okay, like this is more information of where we're going, and this is how we're revising things. This is what we're letting go of. This is what we're taking on, because this is the new direction. This is our vision, and going towards the North Node, you always feel pumped up and excited and expansive about it. So yeah, and then Mercury goes direct on the 20th on the North Node. So yeah, you're mentally going to be very active those couple days. You're going to be kind of mentally wanting to expand towards the new, towards soul growth and evolution, towards breaking out of the mold, receiving higher visions, and just, really kind of seeing a higher way that you can really step into a higher level of embodiment. Because I love Aquarius for embodiment, because it's like showing you where you can like kind of structure down instead of being too scattered all over the place. So it's like really about refining with where your nervous system is really calling you. Maybe you're going to cut out some more of the noise. Maybe you're going to release just whatever's not fitting you, whatever was a part of your ego actually, and that fed your ego versus what's actually that higher vision from your higher self and for the collective. And then the last day, it's going to be conjuncting the North Node. So very, very busy. Like expect a lot of breakthroughs, a lot of downloads, a lot of just visions. Like if you're kind of, telepathy, that's a great way to tell like if people are very aligned with you. You just have telepathy, you're kind of like in flow and sync, moving along, and you just bounce off each other. And a lot of the times you don't even need to say everything. Like it's just very telepathic. And yeah, this is going to be a great time of just moving towards the right ideas, the right structures, the right systems, the right people, and just letting yourself get in alignment and letting go of all the old things that were more so from the ego that weren't in alignment, released from this like mental overload possibly. But at the same time, it's like receiving the higher vision, but physically in Pisces, it's from the heart. We're opening up our hearts more. We're surrendering to more love and compassion into the universe and the bigger picture. And then we're moving forward. And then the last thing is with Mercury making a trine to Jupiter. Might as well mention it because it's a lucky day. Even though Mercury retrograde is over, this is just really, really nice. On the 7th, on the 7th, on the 2nd, Mercury is trining Jupiter. And then on April 2nd, Mercury is trining Jupiter. So this is moving forward with lucky ideas and expansion and more wisdom and knowledge and just opportunity and abundance and feeling good about it, because Jupiter is moving direct too. So things are moving forward. So let's get into all the signs. Okay, Aquarius. So we'll start out with you. So at a higher level, you're going to be going, okay, Aquarius. So we'll start out with you. So you're going to be going back and forth with your identity. And this is the time to revolutionize your identity. Break out of the box, really connect, like, who do you truly want to be out in the world? How can you be more of that rebellious version of yourself, or just that, however you can be more authentic, compassionate. This is a great time for I am affirmations. So I am abundant. I am like compassionate. I am whatever you want to attract more of, you have to be at first. And actually, I'm going to put out this like manifestation challenge with the year of the fire horse coming up. So this will be the time for that. Like that's actually, it's all about stepping into that higher level of embodiment. So yeah, however you're being called and just nudged to like do more, be more, you know your vision, you know who you really want to expand into and who you truly want to be and how you're going to feel the most empowered by being it. So it's all about identity, by the way, is all about being consistently. If you look in the Latin definition of what that actually means, it's identity is being consistently. So you can have this higher vision of who you want to be and what you want out of life. And you just assuming that and being that on a consistent basis will attract everything that you really truly want towards you. So have fun with like just receiving those downloads and those insights of who do you truly want to be out in the world and letting yourself be that so you can find the most expansion. And yeah, having a lot of fun with it. And then with Mercury going retrograde in the second house, that's all about what do you value in life. And there can be a lot of ideas when it comes to making money in a soulfully aligned way because Pisces wants you to go follow your heart, follow where your soul is calling you, and you will always be abundant when you go in that direction with where your heart is calling you. And it's not going to make sense. You got to trust the quantum ways that we move out in the world when we move from our higher self. But that is how you will make the most money, and that's how you can quantum leap into your, highest timeline in the easiest way. Because it doesn't, you don't move in linear ways. You can move in quantum ways with Pisces and with connecting to your soul and your higher self. And it's all about letting yourself do that and really tuning into your inner knowing. Connecting to your higher self on a daily basis can be really powerful. Connecting to your vision with what you want for your future. This can be a massive time of just reprogramming yourself. So you get truly in alignment with who that highest embodiment with what you're stepping into, and you know what you truly value. So success, know that you're going to be successful. And I think you're letting the inner you out a little bit more. You're feeling that call, you're feeling that soul urge, and you're feeling that depth within yourself that truly wants to come out and create a beautiful timeline that you can create. And this will create more security too. And this is the security that you are getting in touch with, that you're remembering. It's like the more you do connect with your higher self and maybe you're activating your DNA, you're tuning more so into that remembrance of who you truly are and what you came here to do. And that's going to bring the foundation and your tribe too, because this is very tribal. And the abundance that you're opening up to is that unlimited abundance with the sky. It's like never ending. When you can truly tap into your own source energy and just let it flow into your life, it is that never ending abundance that can truly come in. Okay, Aquarius, if you would like a reading, check out my link in bio. Oh wait, I forgot Jupiter too. Like trining Jupiter in Gemini, there is a way that you can follow your heart and where your heart is calling you and your inner child and have more fun. And maybe you just need to be more playful and loosen up a bit so you can be flexible and curious and open to different options and different ways of creating. Because when you get in tune with your heart and where your heart is calling you, you can really be open to the different possibilities that are truly out there. And that can let you find way more expansion with your everyday life, with the ways that you are structuring things that can be more in alignment with you. And yeah, you can live more with lucky girl syndrome and just kind of flow along with that versus, yeah, the hard way. Okay, Aquarius, thank you very much. If you would like a reading, check out my link in bio. Also, check out my community on YouTube because I'm going to be making an awesome, really, really, really awesome manifestation stuff there and how you can step into that highest level of embodiment. Hi, Pisces. How's it going? Okay, so this Mercury retrograde, it's all about you and stepping into that higher level of embodiment. And you can really receive messages from the other side so, so easily, from your higher self, from your spirit guides, from the dimensions. If you want that higher dimensional knowledge and wisdom, this is going to be a great time to really, break through any of the subconscious beliefs that were holding you back from that. So you truly remember, who you truly are. And, you might be, activating, your DNA or just connecting to your higher self every day. This is a really powerful time to do that. So you kind of, just break through all the limitations. And while you do that internally, that will allow you to step into this higher level of embodiment. So you can really know who you truly are, and let the world remember who you truly are, and just choose that highest identity that you really want to be and be it. And the more you allow yourself to be it every single day, the more you can just have so much flexibility with how you create out in the world, and you can attract people and opportunities to you that are truly meant for you. You got to shine who you truly are out in the world, bring that internal, external, so you can really truly have the full abundance and love, romance, connections that are truly, really meant for you. And with the trine to Jupiter at the core of who you are, you're truly remembering too. And you might be releasing a lot of like past stories, from the past that might have been limiting you. So you can, get more into that past version of yourself that was more playful. And I feel like we're in a period of time for the last 9-year cycle. It was so heavy, so we're kind of remembering like who we were back in 2016 before like we went into that heavier cycle. So getting more playful, like, and just kind of getting into that lighthearted version of yourself can help you kind of elevate even more so too. So you can remember that higher vibrational aspect of you and choose to embody it every single day. This is going to be a great time. I'm going to have a couple tools in my community that I'm putting up pretty soon, with being able to step into that highest version of yourself, into that highest embodiment, and then this sleep meditation and how you can create it. So that's going to be really perfect for this Mercury retrograde. And I will have that out before Mercury goes retrograde. So definitely look into that. But yeah, how you manifest everything in life is by being it first and letting yourself be confident with it, not holding yourself back, being strict to being it. And then everything else can kind of fall into place a lot easier. So yeah, you're stepping into your true power. Yeah, you're being electrified from the inside out, and you are just going through this remembrance and knowing. You're going to be able to attract in a lot of soul connections very easily with towards you. That will just be very expansive and kind of awaken you even more so. But you are just remembering your power from the inside out. And, when you connect to divinity, a lot of the time, I've been getting this message a lot. It is very simple. You're kind of getting through the weeds where things were a little bit too complicated, and maybe we're just spread out all over the place, where you can really get serious about your purpose, your mission, your, going towards what feels good, and listening to your intuition, which is always simple too. Because when you listen to your heart, whatever you're connecting with, your heart, I just started connecting with my womb recently. So I didn't know you could even do that, but like your heart, your womb answers like very simple answers, and it's always exactly what you need to hear. But something about maybe simplifying your life that does raise your frequency, raise your vibration, and it allows you to truly step into your power. Because when you simplify things too, you can direct your time and your energy and your focus towards the things that are really just for you, and then find just so much expansion with that, whether it is relationships, whether it is like decluttering the home and getting rid of stuff that has been like weighing you down. In simplicity, like just, following your heart and letting your heart kind of lead the way to kind of guide you. Because when we're kids, we realize when you get back into your inner child, you realize it doesn't take much to really make you happy. It is the simple things that make you happy. And when you prioritize that, then you can really truly get in connection with who you truly are. and get so much more into your creativity and your natural growth and flow in life. And that's also a way that you're truly stepping into your power. All right, Pisces, if you would like a reading, check out my link in bio. And if you want to become a master manifester, definitely check out my community later this month, or when Mercury goes retrograde. Hi, Aries. How's it going? Okay, so this Mercury retrograde is happening in your 11th house and your 12th house. So this is your hopes, your dreams, and your wishes, your friends, your groups, your networks, and how can you expand towards them even more? And the best way to expand towards them is connecting to your higher self. And, just really receiving those visions and those downloads and those insights, and that's the way that you can make quantum leaps out into the world with what you're really actually supposed to be doing, who you're supposed to be working with. There can be just innovative new ways that you create out in the world, with social media or, connecting with a friend, and you just are vibing and it's like, okay, like we're on the same page. Let's make magic happen out in the world. And there can be a lot of just ways that you kind of got in your own way that you're getting rid of with your subconscious and limitations. And there's so many ways that we let ourselves get in our own way. And it usually does start with us looking at our hopes and dreams in our future and embodying the person that we want to be to, achieve those things. But then we'll just let that voice come in our head to stop us from actually doing it and accomplishing it. And we might get in, flight, fight, freeze, whatever mode. And that's when that is not your soul. That is not your higher self. That is your ego and the programming that is stopping you and trying to say, no, stay small, stay safe. So this is going to be a really great time to work with your subconscious. And in my community, I'm actually making a way that you can work with your subconscious and kind of program really powerful things in there. So you're just creating your magical dream life on autopilot versus staying stuck, letting yourself stay stuck in all the ways that we unconsciously keep ourselves stuck. So you can find the most expansion and just amp yourself up towards your dreams and your visions. Because this is going to be very, very powerful to just listen to your higher self and to just have so many breakthroughs with how you can achieve your hopes and your dreams in this magical quantum way. Because it's all about letting the change happen and being open to future visions, future possibilities, letting the random happen. And then meeting the right people so you can make quantum leaps into easy abundance and easy career success, which is the 11th house. So you are getting in touch with deep wisdom. This is going to be a powerful Mercury retrograde to really connect to your higher self and to reprogram your subconscious, listen to subliminals, but mostly connect to your higher self. Because right now it is there's so much of a need to listen to that higher soul alignment and with where you're truly being called, not what the ego wants, because if you're trying to manifest from the ego, you will have so much frustration right now. You really going within and connecting to the deep wisdom within you, and finding that expansion with what feels good, what feels expansive, what feels like home. With the trine to Jupiter, you're really wanting to ground into relationships in the physical that feel good, that feel like home, that feel expansive, that kind of resonate with you, from past lifetimes and stuff. And the magic is within. You don't need to look externally. You need to actually go internally. And that's how you can make all the magical dreams come true. And you're just remembering it, and you're remembering that vision. So you got two cards to prioritize going within, because that is where the magic is. The more that you can go deep within yourself, the more that you're going to find the expansion externally. And it's about going deep and remembering that biggest version of you so you can stop being that tiny little version of you but it's already within. You don't need to do more. You don't need to try more. You don't need to like achieve more. You need to surrender and actually just go within and relax into your body and your heart and your spirit, and journal and really connect with your inner self and your inner world, so you find that deep fulfillment. And when you find that deep fulfillment, you can truly change like your lens externally and find like so much more expansion externally. Yeah, so definitely need to connect with your inner world, but you don't realize like connecting with your inner world and having so much fun with it, and connecting to your own core frequency and amplifying that up, that will bring in the right people, relationships, abundance, like so much easier with so much less force and effort. So yeah, you just magnetize all of it in, and it's coming from this effortless place of deep remembrance of who you truly are and what you truly came here to do. All right, Aries, if you would like a reading, check out my link in bio, and definitely check out my community when Mercury goes direct. It's going to be, I'll have a ton of tools in there that you can use to step into this highest version of yourself, to also reconnect with your higher self and who you truly are, and to go through a deeper remembrance. So yeah. Hi, Taurus. So you're getting in alignment with your hopes and your dreams and your visions for the future, and with working with the right people, connecting with the right people, having the right social media output and algorithm, like showing up more authentically as who you truly are out in the world on social media. And yeah, you could be getting this call with like really like in these downloads and this insight from your higher self, with sidereal, like receiving the visions and the insights and the possibilities that you can, just the future visions that you can truly create, that you're receiving from your higher self, that are like your own unique path and your own unique direction with how you can go out and create it. And that's what you're prioritizing when it comes to connecting with the right people and really setting the right dreams that you truly want for the long term. So you could be just receiving a lot of visions, lots of downloads. It's going to be a really great retrograde to stay very high vibe, because that's how you receive the downloads and the insights that are going to serve you best, is making sure that you're not stuck down here in the struggle and the survival mode and everything. You want to get high vibes so you can receive, because there is a bigger potential that you're getting in tune with that you can step into. And the more that you're recognizing your own potential, the more that the universe will prove it to you. Like, you recognize that potential that is within you, and you see it in your mind, and you just know that you can create that, and you receive that vision because that's something that you can align with. You just have to vibrationally align with that vision, because when you get a vision, when you're seeing it in your mind, that's a reality. One of you is already living that reality out in the world. It's all about just vibrationally aligning with that. So you go towards that reality easily and effortlessly. And you can kind of create in an autopilot way when you're just kind of moving from more of that place of deep remembrance that is already within you. So yeah, this is a great Mercury retrograde to like be Delulu. And be Delulu is different. And why are cards like falling on the floor? When cards fall on the floor, it's like, okay, so there's like something with like, lower ways that we used to find security that was actually not letting us step into our higher potential now. So I think you are in touch with like your potential with like a lower timeline and a lower version of you, but now it's time to release that, because we're completely going into a completely new era where we don't need to hang on to certain ways that we found security like in the past. And this is what you might be going back and forth with this trine to Jupiter, is seeing the ways that like when you just truly align with what you truly value, you can find the new ways of security with that. Because I think you're definitely going to be push to be in alignment with soul, community, and tribe. That is also that security. These soul relationships that were supposed to come in this place, in this time, that there's this deep remembrance with, and at the same time, working together, it kind of unlocks this like infinite potential that you can truly create with. And it's all coming from inside of you, you truly remembering, unlocking your DNA, and like that, having that true remembrance within you. And that's your home, that's your foundation, and that's where you're going to be able to unlock your full potential and the full security that is really, going to bring you into the most expansion. But this is definitely a very expansive Mercury retrograde. I think what your previous limit was, you're seeing beyond that now, and you're seeing a way bigger potential that you can step into that is super expansive, super abundant, and maybe you can't even contain it. Maybe you're going through some sort of like awakening or Kundalini awakening or something too, and when that happens, like you get the feeling first and then you recognize the potential like externally. So yeah, go towards soul connections that feel truly aligned, that help you remember more of yourself, that allow you to step into this higher level of embodiment, follow your intuition, and just like receive it all, because you are receiving the downloads and the insights, and it's really bringing so much expansion within you internally first, so you can really see it externally out in the world. But yeah, it's going to lead to a lot of security and abundance and amazingness. So, okay, anything else? Let's see. Yeah, lots of ideas with this trine to Jupiter, with planting new seeds for new ways of making money, recognizing what you truly value so you can create more of that. And yeah, maybe monetizing your skills and your talents actually, to really go create your dreams and live more so in alignment with your soul, recognizing your gifts that you truly brought here that you need to put out into the world now. Because hiding them for yourself, that's only serving yourself. That actually does create karma. Like if you're like, investigating all the time and collecting a bunch of information, but not sharing it, like you are meant to share that, because there is some ways that we come back with like, a South Node in Sagittarius where we have all this information, but we didn't share it. So this is time to share it. Things like that. Okay, Taurus, if you would like a reading, check out my link in bio. And if you would like to join my community, I have a ton of manifestation tips and tools and ways to step into this higher level of embodiment. That is so easy and so effortless, and going to allow you to create your dreams on autopilot more so, and from this soul aligned place that I will be releasing when Mercury actually goes retrograde. So stay tuned for that. I'm putting it together now though. Hi, Gemini. So this is happening in your 9th house, 10th house. So there is going to be a back and forth with like your 9th house, which is your beliefs, your meaning, your purpose in life. This is going to be a great time to release a lot of limiting beliefs and kind of see the world in a different way. We're going to be seeing the world in a different way. I'll let you know that. There's going to be a lot of illusions just kind of falling apart, truths coming to the surface. So you can see this very expansive way that maybe you were limiting yourself because maybe you were putting the authority to outside of yourself, with everything that has been so far. But now there's like releasing with that, and you claiming your own authority with what you want to believe, what is your meaning and purpose in life, what do you truly want to do, what is your vision, and getting into alignment with that. And that's going to make you a powerhouse with your 10th house things, which is your career, your legacy. How can you get into alignment with your meaning and purpose in life and make a structure for that? And to really like narrow down your, narrow down like who you want to be out in the world. So you're not so scattered all over the place. So you're getting into that soul alignment and, doing maybe fewer projects, really prioritizing the systems and the people that you want to work with. So you really get serious about like what you're building out in the world, and just, yeah, narrowing down your focus. And that's really what it takes, is just you holding that vision, you knowing that vision, and you choosing that vision every single day and not being scattered all over the place. And then the vision happens a lot easier and a lot faster. And you are lucky in general now. You have a lot of ways that you can step into a higher level of embodiment, that people and opportunities and situations can easily come your way, but it does start with you stepping into that higher level of embodiment and allowing yourself to truly be that person that has everything that you truly want. And that's how, everything else manifests in a lot easier ways, by you choosing to be it. And you have to be it to have it. And you choosing that higher identity every single day, then it can come in very easily, very effortlessly. And you're finding your power with that. Identity actually does just mean being consistently. So you choosing to be that version of you consistently is how you end up with the identity. Okay, so anyway, you can have a lot of breakthroughs with that and a lot of fun with co-creating your reality. And I actually do have a lot of tools coming out with this community that I'm going to be making on YouTube. So you can step into embodiment and start creating your life more so almost on autopilot. And it's like not true. It's not on autopilot because it's not like magic, everything happens, but you start doing the things, because it's just like in your subconscious and it's like your new way of being now. So you're seeing how you can be in the most effortless, flowing way to receive all the opportunities, because this could be a very lucky Mercury retrograde, because when you get aligned with the ninth house, there's so much growth and expansion and it feels good, and there's opportunity and travel or, information or destined directions that you're just feel like you're being pulled in. And by you going in that direction, it's telling you what you want to take seriously now. And you're going to build the structure for it. That you're prioritizing that. You're prioritizing your soul destined direction and purpose. And yeah. So yeah, you're finding your power. And with you finding your power, you're going to really know what you want to release, what hasn't been serving you. This could be a big time of what you're shedding, what you're no longer going to be anymore, narrowing down your focus, being less scattered, so you can prioritize that dream vision. And when you do that, the dream vision becomes very, very easy to manifest. And by you really stepping into your own power, you might be going through some sort of awakening, or you might be like magnetized and drawn to certain things. Definitely do that, because with Mercury going over the North Node in Aquarius, you can feel just like amplified and magnetized towards certain people, places, things, opportunities. And that's like allowing you to step into who you truly are and allowing you to amplify your own power. So you could be called to like go back to school or go towards, I don't know, some sort of like spiritual, like evolution thing, or whatever you're interested in. Literally whatever you're interested in, whatever you're passionate about, whatever feels expansive, that's allowing you to truly step into your own power. And then from that place, with you being truly empowered, you're actually going to know what you need to release, whether it is belief systems, people, things, old ways of being, old habits, old routines that aren't really serving you anymore. Okay, Gemini, so I love this for you. Very exciting, very expansive. If you would like a reading, check out my link in bio, but also check out my YouTube community when Mercury goes retrograde, because I'm going to have a lot of manifestation tools so you can kind of step into this higher level embodiment and know what's meant for you, know your vision, know your goals, and know how to go towards it on a consistent basis, so you can step into this higher level of being out in the world and become the ultimate co-creator of your reality. All right, Gemini, thank you so much. Okay, Cancer, this is happening in your 8th house and in your 9th house. So you could be going through this awakening. With the 8th house, whenever we go through that, I love the 8th house actually, because it is like where you listen to your soul desires. And there is no way around it, because there's feelings that come up and they're intense. And these feelings are from your higher self. It's saying this way, bitch. So you got to listen to those. And when you, sometimes the yuckier feelings come up. Like if you look at the vibrational scale, the lower levels of consciousness, sometimes those come up because it's letting you know what needs to be alchemized and transformed with the higher heart, because the 8th house rules the higher heart. And the more that you can do that, the more that you just become like a clear lens out in the world, the more that you can move from your higher heart, the more that you just open up the world of possibilities, and you are able to take the blinders off with where you were very limited and you couldn't really see the world like in the full expansion of it. So you're alchemizing those emotions to get into your higher heart, to attract in people, things, opportunities, and become super magnetic. And at the same time, like give yourself more options out in the world, which can be very freeing, very expansive. So this can be tough communications with certain relationships, because the 8th house is relationships, and renegotiating, contracts, making sure you know your value and your worth, and you're going to be asking for that, the most amount of money, if that's like what you're truly worth, and you're worth it. Asking for more, not being afraid to ask for more, because the universe is not on a budget. And as long as you know your value, your worth, and that you're, alchemizing all those lower emotions that have been telling you that you're not worth it, the more that you can go towards that limitless abundance. And with the 9th house, you're getting into alignment with what's that meaning and purpose in life. What's that call? What's that, soul call that you're being called towards? What feels expansive and like that you're getting back on that exploration of exploring life and seeing what life has out there. You could go in just following kind of your heart and seeing where your heart is calling you, really listening to your higher self. Because with the 9th house, it's very easy to connect to your higher self. So you can receive a lot of downloads, insights, visions, inspirations, just knowings with certain timelines and certain visions, with what is truly meant for you. So know that when you see a vision, you can connect to that vision. It's just all about getting vibrationally in alignment with that vision. And that's kind of perfect, because with this trine to Jupiter, you're really just knowing who you are now, that higher level of embodiment that you want to step into with Jupiter in tropical, that's in Cancer. And the more that you just release all the subconscious ways that you stopped yourself from getting into that higher level of embodiment, the more that you're going to find the opportunities and the people and the things that are truly, truly meant for you. And it's all going to come from that deeper internal place of who you truly are. So I actually love this, because it's like a no bullshit Mercury retrograde, actually, because you are getting into alignment with like that deeper essence of you versus the ego. And then balancing out the ego with like that, being able to step into that higher level of embodiment, because we're not getting rid of the ego. We're just stepping into the higher level of embodiment. So definitely visualize this Mercury retrograde, like know who you want to be, what's important to you, how you can like become her, because you have to be that to be able to receive whatever you're really desiring. What is that soul call, that mission and purpose, and how can you get more so into alignment with that? And yeah, just letting yourself be. I'm going to have a ton of tools in my YouTube community, so you can, subconscious meditations, and just being able to like create your own story. That would really be powerful too. Creating your own story that you really want to live now, and start being that every single day until that story is actually in your reality. And that will help you release all the ways that maybe you were getting in your own way day by day by day, and they'll be coming up front and center. It's like, okay, you have awareness around this old program or this old emotion, time to release it. Time to open yourself up into the world and see what the universe wants to bring you. God's plan, not your plan. This is a great time too. If your manifestations aren't working, to really connect to source in God's plan, like where that is actually guiding you. Because yeah, that's what I have found with this. I think it's the Saturn Neptune thing. Like there's this bigger awareness that wants to come in. So you have to like connect to your higher self and kind of let the stuff, pop in. Because if you're too strict with your ego plan, you're going to be limited. But, your soul plan is always going to feel the most expansive and the most good to you. So it's all about really listening to that and letting that truly come in. So you might be having like difficulty with like security, and this is going to be a great time to release anything tribal when it comes to security, like any lack, any way that you felt like you need to be in hustle or grind. I like Power versus Force because it gives like a full description of why like living in survival and lack actually keeps you limited, and it keeps you cut off from the limitless abundance that is here that you can truly remember. So you're releasing all the old things, from humanity, like when we were being chased by a dinosaur and maybe we're constant living in fear, struggle mode, where we can just like release that, have awareness around it, so we can live in this limitless abundance that is the universal abundance that can truly flow through us as long as we're remembering who we truly are. We're letting ourselves be activated. We're letting ourselves receive those downloads and those insights. And then miracles can happen. You're letting yourself go on the miracle timeline by going through kind of this deeper activation. So releasing any of those lower emotions so you can remember who you truly are, what you truly came here for. And you're hopping onto your miracle timeline. And that can only happen if you're, up on the scale of consciousness, the vibrational, like if you want to look at the scale of consciousness or the vibrational levels of vibration. Why was that hard? Okay, because that's how you hop on to, you follow the signs, you follow the synchronicities, you follow the butterfly, you receive the idea, you meet that person. That's how you just make quantum leap. And it's just actually all about jumping along the rainbow to make miracles happen versus struggle and lack and fear. And that with the fire here, it's like, yeah, sometimes we get comfortable with those emotions. Like I was comfortable with those emotions for so long. And sometimes, yeah, I will let myself like pout and have like a emo day for sure. Because that's what's comfortable, but it's time to expand. And let more of the love and the light and the abundance in, and then find that freedom with it. Because this is what what is pushing you towards, not the comfortable emotions being stagnant. You're being pushed towards your miracle timeline, but you have to be high vibe to get there. And with the levels of consciousness, like you can't fake your vibration, but this is the time where you're alchemizing all those emotions with your higher heart. So you actually are that vibration later. Okay. Cancer, if you would like a reading, check out my link in bio. But also when Mercury actually goes retrograde, I'm going to be putting out a YouTube community where, it's all about being able to take advantage of this fire horse energy to step into that higher level of embodiment. So you can become a co-creator of your reality in a very effortless, flowing way. That's very exciting and it has been very useful. I'm putting all my tools there for manifestation, and I'm giving like a structure for it. So it's very easy for everyone to follow, but also at the same time to make it theirs. So yeah, definitely keep your eye out for that. Hi, Leo. How's it going? Okay, so this Mercury retrograde starts off in your 7th house. This has to do with your one-on-one relationships, any serious one-on-one relationship, friendship, family members, marriage partner, whatever, especially those close relationships, though, that is very significant because with Mercury retrograding in the 8th house, it's time to have those deeper conversations that you might have been putting off. And it could be about money, finances, intimacy, things where like you knew it would probably cause a blow up. So you just like stuffed it down. And now it's time to talk about those things. But on the good side is that Pisces is all about love and just surrendering and having more compassion and empathy. So you could easily have heart-to-heart conversations that give you more depth and expansion in your connection, where previously you were just like shutting it down, shoving it in the closet, not wanting to deal with it. And yeah, it's just like there can be a lot of compassion and understanding here. At the same time, there's a fated push towards soul connections that are aligned with you and your vision and where you're really going for the long term. And I love this trine to Jupiter because there are options with your hopes and your dreams and your visions, and there's probably a lot of ideas. And with Jupiter in Cancer, it's like you're listening to your higher self and also receiving those visions. And like, yeah, there's a need to kind of surrender to what you're done with, what you need to let go of, so you can be open to this bigger vision that you have for yourself or your life, or where you're being like nudged. And yes, things that you can't ignore, because when you go through eighth house transits and you're feeling those emotions, they can be deeper soul desires. So if you're feeling jealousy, if you're feeling revenge or something like that, realize that you can alchemize that into like more empowerment, more like you want that thing, and it's time to go after it. And this is a great time to really just analyze, where have you been putting your time and your energy, because the eighth house is your time and your energy. And maybe it's time to put up some boundaries with people. Maybe it's time to really recognize your worth and your value, so you can narrow down like the projects that you've been working on. So you can really prioritize your time and your energy towards those projects and towards what you truly care about, what your soul cares about what you want to dedicate your time and your energy to, that is in alignment with your hopes and your dreams and your goals. So you can create in a very easy, effortless way, because that's like half the battle, is just like letting go of all this stuff that like hasn't been actually bringing you fulfillment. And you could get those like nudges like of, and wait, what did I hear about desire and a lot of it. Okay, so eighth house can be like where we do things to avoid like what our soul actually wants. So sometimes, like, say we want to express ourselves in a certain way, or we do want to create, or we're like, jealous of this influencer or something. But we just keep on scrolling instead because it's easier and it's our comfort zone. This is our opportunity to recognize what we truly want, what we truly desire, and bust through any of those like emotions that were holding us back, and getting some awareness around this deeper unconscious process of things, so we can allow ourselves to go actually do the thing and not to get distracted. Because the eighth house is like habits and stuff too. Like it can be like addictions too. And I heard somebody say something like addictions always come from a place of us not self-actualizing in some way. So that's very eighth house. And that just like being, that's like, okay. So that's another way that you can realize, like, if you've been kind of in a comfort zone with something, if you have a certain attachment with just, being comfortable in a certain way, like, what does your soul truly want? What does your soul truly desire? So you get in alignment with that. And yeah, it's all about using, also at the same time, letting your intuition guide you. I've been connecting to my higher self and my intuition in a whole new way that I never even knew was really possible. But when you do that and you get into your body and you get into your heart and you listen to that knowing, it gives you so much more freedom and aha moments and those visions that you need to act on, because they give you that fire and that passion and that excitement again, and it gets your life force energy moving. So that's what we're doing. We're getting your life force energy moving by releasing any of those stagnant emotions that kept you comfortable but stuck. And you might receive a lot of just, inspiration from other people with, the Mercury going on the North Node, like feeling excited to go towards this person, or maybe you see this person out and about doing something that you want to be doing. This can lead to like change and innovation, and you truly listening to your vision and wanting to go connect with, different people and network and to create in a different way, maybe showing up on social media in a completely different way that's truly authentically you. With the North Node in the seventh house, that's like how we outreach to clients and everything, like maybe how other people see us. So you can find a way that to speak to your people that is more authentically you and more like just in alignment with your. I'm thinking about the way like that I'm combining like tropical with like whole sign right now. Like I don't even know how that's gonna work out, but this is what I do in my mind for myself. So I'm like, why not bring it to you guys? But yeah, this can lead to higher ways of embodiment that are less from your own ego and more for the people and more for the collective. And it feels good when you go towards the right relationships that you can synergize with, that, you're on the same wavelength. There can be some sort of telepathy and you're just amping each other up towards your goal and your mission versus the wrong relationships that might bring a lot of friction and just not really seeing eye to eye. Not that they're bad or anything, but you're definitely being pushed towards relationships that will push you towards higher levels of embodiment and towards soul growth and evolution. That might be scary, but it's also always fun. I don't know. That's what we're here for, is to just constantly expand and grow our consciousness. Whether we're in the physical or not in the physical, this is just what we do. Okay, so protection. Know that you are protected. Sometimes with the eighth house transits and, Saturn and Neptune going through the eighth house, like maybe we're going through some sort of last like awakening to more of who we truly are. Know that our vision is protected. Whatever you're seeing right now, either way, if there's chaos happening or whatever, it's protected. Your destiny and your mission really can't miss you. Whatever is being brought down, and this might happen with the eclipse, with this square to Uranus, like, it wasn't actually meant for you. It was meant to go, and it's meant to free you into like a higher destiny and a higher timeline and more expansion and freedom and growth. And yeah, I'm kind of thinking of like, yeah, Uranus in tropical is at the end of Taurus. So it's like, yeah, we're moving into more expansion with Uranus moving into the 11th house. And it's all about trusting that and meeting with the right people. And, if something comes crashing down, because this kind of reminds me of the tarot card, Tower card in tarot, it's an awakening. Like sometimes the building has to crumble, but it sets you free because you were holed up in a castle and that wasn't leading you to what you're actually supposed to be doing. And maybe what you're supposed to be doing is a little bit more radical and different, but exciting, and new. Maybe it's a little bit more pioneering, but when you ground and you get into your remembrance of your body and your nervous system, that is really what you came here to do. You didn't come here to play it safe. As a Leo, you did come here to shut up. And but you're going to be solid anyway, because you've gotten into the core of your being and your essence, and you know what's for you and what's not for you. And it's all about getting into your body and that vision and that knowing, and then letting yourself kind of expand from there. But you have the roots that are totally stabilized within yourself. The core of your being is super stabilized. And now it's all about just receiving those ideas, the communications, people, whatever ways that you can truly expand. So don't be afraid to release, this is a time to release, where I think you're, stepping into a higher level of embodiment by letting yourself release. Let yourself shed, whether it's emotions, people, situations, because it's time to really trust. You might be going on some sort of adventure, but with the adventure, like, like you've seen this vision, you've seen this insight, and you have this knowing of the dream that you're creating on Earth. And I just heard like grounding heaven into Earth. And yeah, it's a bit of a desert right now. It is a bit of it feels like as a Leo rising, all our manifestations are like paused and on hold. And it's all about just holding that energy and having that faith and trust and just like sitting, like the more that you can anchor your vibration, your natural vibration, and those higher energies, the more you're going to be a magnet to what is truly for you. And the more that you're going to be ready to go on this adventure to literally make magic happen in a really fast way, and in a way that's actually very exciting and very abundant, and maybe more so in flow with who you truly are versus who you have been in the past. So I love that for you, Leo. If you would like to check out my manifestations and everything that I'm going to be putting in the community when Mercury actually goes retrograde, I'm putting it all together right now and I'll put it up. But this is a way that you can really step into this highest level of embodiment in a super easy way. With Jupiter in the 12th house, like I have a couple tools there for like, just these sleep meditations and everything. So you reprogram your subconscious so you can create your dream life on autopilot and you just end up having more faith and trust in the universe and where you're going. And then, the whole process of releasing becomes a lot easier because you're moving from this place of co-creation and remembering who you truly are. All right. Thank you so much, Leo. All right, Virgo. So this is happening in your 6th house, 7th house. So there's going to be a back and forth with like your everyday life, your work, your diet, your routines, and getting into alignment with that. Getting into alignment with coworkers and hiring people or scheduling your day in a way that really supports you and your nervous system, because there could be a lot of energy coming in. But when you ground and when you get that clarity in your nervous system and in your body, then you know how to structure your day. You know how to put boundaries with your time and your energy and not to get too sucked into, information overload or scrolling or whatever. Scheduling your day and your everyday habits in a way that is truly supportive to your highest visions and your highest dreams and your highest goals. And yeah, self-care, self-love, that is such an important thing because we don't realize and especially this next year, our body is going to tell us so much more information than our mind is going to know. So we need to get into our body. We need to feel, we need to like really just have our intuition amplified with what's right for us, what's not the direction for us. So we can move from that place of our inner knowing. So if there's anything that you need to do with self-care, self-love, health, diet, routines, that this is the time to do it. Because when you have your structure really set and you're really like, prioritizing your time and your energy and you have your systems set up, then that's how you know how to step up out in the world in the highest way possible. So you can really receive the abundance and meet the people and the opportunities and receive the career rewards and success that is truly actually meant for you. So yeah, it goes like hand in hand with this trine to Jupiter. You could see this bigger vision and it's all about making the structure for it so it can exist, so you start going towards your legacy. So you start building towards your purpose. And with the retrograde happening in the 11th or the 7th house, it's like, how can you get into alignment with the right relationships and having those discussions? And these discussions can be very empathetic and compassionate and very heart to heart. And you're just seeing like if you're on the right vibe or if you're not on the right vibe. And, just really kind of going through it back and forth with like, how can we do things better? How can we align in a better way that is more equal, that is more fair, that is maybe sharing the responsibilities, that is, in alignment for your highest good and for the highest good of all. Because you could be, pushed towards soul connections. So if you're having difficulty with certain soul connections right now, you're being pushed towards soul connections that are truly meant for you, that will be very fulfilling and in sync and maybe telepathic and, just on the same vibration where you can amplify your energies and just make magic happen out in the world. So patience and pleasure, that's funny. You're just being asked to take life less seriously. And that kind of makes sense because I think, breaking out into the new energies, building the new world and structuring things in a new way, you do have to get like lighthearted and flexible. Because when you let yourself be lighthearted and play a little bit more, you go up on the vibrational scale, you can have a little bit more curiosity and a little bit more play to see where you were too rigid and too serious and where you were weighing yourself down like unconsciously. So yeah, just like follow your delight, and that can bring a lot of innovation and future timelines and visions with how you can structure your reality and who you're supposed to be structuring your reality with. At the same time, have a little bit of patience, because I think maybe you're getting certain ideas and you want to soar, you want to expand, but know the more that you actually do, take care of yourself, self-care, self-love, and that everything is kind of moving along the lines of divine timing, the more that you're setting yourself up right for when Mercury goes direct and when it's actually go time. I think this is the time where you're just having patience and you're really building, like build mode. That would be the best. And then, then the right people will come along, and then it's like the right timing. And then you're going towards more pleasure. And I think you can have more pleasure and abundance in a way easier way. If you just have the patience during this Mercury retrograde and you focus on the building. Because yeah, it's like your build mode right now, like this is only half built. But once it's built, then the dreams can happen super, super easily. And your dream timeline is right there. And you can go really, really fast towards it. I mean, the energy is picking up next year. So this is like the last slow down and hold up period before you go really, really fast into the dream. So know that, yeah, you're going into more delight, more lightness, more expansion. Just have patience towards it and really hold your vision. And if you would like extra tools with manifestation when Mercury goes direct, I'm putting out a community, and hopefully before, but stay tuned for a community where I'm going to put all my manifestation tools in there so you can really structure your everyday life that is more so in flow instead of doing it from the mind. When you do it from the mind, sometimes you block yourself off from creating in the easiest way possible. So there's a lot of tools in there to show you how you can create your dream life and start living your dream life every single day and taking care of yourself naturally. That is just more so on autopilot versus forcing and, all of that stuff. All right, Virgo, if you would like a reading, check out my link in bio. Hi, Libra. So this is a pretty fun one for you. You are structuring your every single day life, your health, your diets, your routines, your habits, your work, from reconnecting with your heart. And, when you reconnect with your heart and your inner child, you can follow, sorry, one sec, your curiosity. You can play more. You can get more in alignment with your higher self. So you just start creating your Dharma timeline. Because I love this trine to Jupiter, because it's like we want to create the Dharma timeline. We want to make magic happen out in the world in the easiest way possible. But it all starts with our worldview and how much we've expanded with that, our knowing, our downloads that we've received, and the visions that we've received from our higher self, and connecting with our heart and letting ourselves get back into the inner child, which is the bridge to the quantum reality and different realities that we can see with our mind that already exist. And we just have to vibrationally align with to create that reality. And it can be a lot easier when you move this way, getting into your heart, getting into your vision, then structuring your everyday life. And then you can make magic happen in a very effortless, flowing, easy, and abundant way. So with Jupiter in the physical, in the 10th house, you receive the rewards, career abundance, and you are working towards your career goals and legacy in the highest way that you possibly can. That feels very effortless and in flow. So yeah, you might be pushed towards certain relationships during this time too, because with Mercury on the North Node in the 5th house, there is like magnetism and pull, and your heart could be calling you towards very magnetic soul connections that just feel like fate and destiny. And yeah, they could be very, very expansive. So and they could just kind of open up your world in some way, and they can make you think differently about how you previously saw the world in the first place. So definitely be open to that. And if you want to magnetize in a certain connection, this is a great time to really like release any stories that you had about love and start telling yourself the most empowering story about love, so you can manifest them in. And yeah, this is going to be a great retrograde to just connect to your heart and your higher self to get the best guidance with what is truly meant for you. How can you create more of that into your reality? How can you live a life every single day that is full of more love, joy, and happiness instead of less grind and pressure? There's a lot of times where we pressure where we take action out of pressure or they feel like we need to or whatever, instead of moving from that place of inner peace. So when we move from that place of inner peace, we create more peace and we create more alignment and we create more flow. So I think you're finding your inner peace and what truly makes you happy and finding a nice balance with that for this retrograde. So you can really just live a life that's more just magical and more abundant and more, yeah, you can hop onto your miracle timeline, but it starts with you prioritizing your vibration and living like up on the vibrational scale. So you can see the solutions, the new ideas, people, opportunities, and become a magnet towards everything that is truly meant for you. And you can live in effortless, abundant flow. And it's letting yourself release from there. You align with your vision and your dreams and, living from that place of peace and love and enjoyment and creativity. And then you'll know what to release, because everything that's not in alignment will just release in a natural way. Prioritizing your inner peace when it comes to love, because if they're, not bringing you peace, then they'll naturally fall away and they're not meant for you, because the people that are really meant for you should bring you some, that resonance of home and, that inner peace. You feel it vibrationally. It makes you feel like home, and those are the best connections, even though they can still be difficult, but they can those are the best connections. And then you're tuning into the wonder. So this is like a bigger dream that wants to come in, that wants to be grounded and wants to be stabilized. And it's going to happen through your heart and you getting into your inner child and playing and receiving the download and the visions, and then surrendering to the universe, kind of like letting go, following the signs and the synchronicities and the wonder, and just staying focused on your dream timeline and your Delulu timeline. Delulu is good because it's not like illusions. Delulu is choosing your dream that you want to live and sticking with it. So you can give yourself lucky girl syndrome. You can give yourself, the magic, like really, really easily, but you have to choose the magic first and choose the magic consistently on an every single day basis. And that's how the magic happens out in the world. And that's literally what Saturn and Neptune is asking of you, for the last little bit of, well, it's going to be here for a while with the true sky, but, with tropical, like this could be the last little bit of you just really in the physical, knowing that you can create magic and just, you can always be on your miracle timeline every single day, but you have to embed it into your subconscious until it's there, until you're just creating it on autopilot. And I'm going to have a bunch of tools to, so you can do that actually with manifestation and really reprogramming your subconscious and embedding dream timeline that you want to live on a consistent basis until it is in your subconscious. So you start creating your reality every single day from wonder, from joy, from magic, from flow versus force or anything like that. But yeah, stay tuned this next month. It'll be out this next month if you want to look into it. And if you would like a reading, definitely check out my link in bio. Thank you so much, Libra. Okay, Scorpio. So you're going to be going back and forth with your fourth house, which is home, family, the core of your inner being. Mostly that, since this is like the whole signs, like really getting in tune with the core of your inner being and letting yourself go through that internal evolution where you're shedding a lot and you're releasing, a lot of like the past or past timelines, healing the family karma, seeing where you're above the family karma now, when it comes to, your relationships with home and with family. And then evolving into what you want to create for a foundation now. And also you're readjusting things when it comes to following your heart, following your passion, really listening to your fifth house. What is fun to you? What is playful to you? What gets you more so into your inner child? Because when you get into your inner child and you remember what you liked doing as a kid, that is more of what you're supposed to be doing. That is your meaning. That is your purpose. And you taking that seriously and putting boundaries around that, and not like scattering your energy all over the place, you can make your dreams into a reality a lot easier. But it is knowing like where you have been scattered, where maybe you've been scrolling, where you've been like watching, doing too much social media, Netflix, whatever, where you can really like get into that higher alignment with truly listening to your heart and going towards the things that are truly fun to you, that really are calling towards your soul. And I heard something like where we do like fall into the lower ways of like having fun and everything, it usually does create those addictions, whether it is like, addictions with substances or addictions with scrolling or social media, where that, because it's somewhere within us where we haven't really self-actualized ourselves internally. So this could be a time where you're really recognizing the ways you have fun, but maybe it's just a short like serotonin thing versus like you really knowing like what's really fun for the long term and you prioritizing that and then aligning with that so you can just create that dream, and have fun creating, but you're living out your destiny and your timeline and you're living out your purpose. And yeah, that could be very freeing. At the same time, this could be a time where you're having more conversations with close family members or your significant other. And these can be very like, just heart-to-heart conversations where maybe you see their perspective, or maybe you see things internally in yourself in a different way, where you're releasing that old narrative or that old story or that emotion that's coming up. With Jupiter in the eighth house, like it does really free you from, it gets your chakras more so into alignment because you're anchoring more of your own core essence and your light. So you let those emotions come up and you let them be alchemized by the higher heart, because the eighth house is ruled by the higher heart. So you see more options, you see more opportunity, and it's like the blinders come off. It's like all that gunk was like keeping you kind of stuck in your ego and just lower ways of being. And we all have it. And now it's like you can elevate, a lot easier into higher ways of being and like magnetizing in the right relationships and opportunities that are truly meant for you. But this would be a great time to, have those deeper conversations. And then also listening to that soul call with where you're being called. And you could definitely feel it like in the core of your being. And then also just following your curiosity and your interests, to follow your passion, follow your purpose, follow your heart. Where is that calling you? You need to take that seriously because your heart is going to give you the best guidance right now versus the mind. This would be a very confusing time right now to stay stuck in the mind. You want to get into your body. You want to really listen to spirit. You want to visualize, you want to receive that inner knowing. So you can go towards more security, actually, because that's what you're doing. You're going towards security in the new earth way. That is going to be more fun, more exciting. And you're taking the lead in some way. You're seeing how you can take the lead and be more of the leader of your life. And yeah, when you do that, you're finding that infinite abundance just naturally kind of comes to you. You know, see this like endless flow. It's like this was always here. You were always tapped in. You were always connected to source. You always had this knowing. You always knew what was right for you. You knew. And now it's like you're tapping into that knowing at a whole nother level where it's making you move fast, even though it doesn't look like it looks like he's moving fast, even though polar bears aren't known for moving fast. It looks like he's moving fast. So maybe with this retrograde, you're not moving fast. That kind of reminds me of Mercury retrograde in Aquarius too, because Aquarius is very frozen. You're not moving fast yet, but you know when it's time to move fast, which is when Mercury goes direct, that you will be moving fast towards, your dreams and your visions and what is truly meant for you. But it's time to let the transformation happen. Let the transformation happen first, because it will just be so much easier to kind of like float along and to take the lead and to go into your higher timeline. But yeah, it is all about transforming that and letting the stuff go. You let yourself like hermit, and you can let yourself kind of turn into that mush ball like that the caterpillar turns into, and you don't know how you're going to transform, but you're releasing the things that never really served you. And these things could have to do with like security and foundation and old survival instincts. We get stuck in hustle, grind, flight, whatever. And that's what you're releasing too. So you can actually more so get into your own inner fire and into the remembrance of who you truly are, and find so much more expansion with that. Because it's like the more that you find the core in your fire that is already within you, and you let that warm you and guide you and just kind of uplift you, then the more that you see this. And you're going to burn all the survival stuff away. So yeah, this is a good time to really, do DNA work, to, activate your DNA, to connect to your higher self, to kind of visualize. Connecting with your inner child is also really good, because that is the bridge to, the other timelines that you can manifest. And yeah, open up your heart, surrender, receive the visions, so you can prioritize those visions and then make your dreams happen in a really fast way. And if you need help with that, I'm going to have a bunch of tools on my community that I'm making right now, that can help you get into that higher alignment with where you can be going and how you can make that highest dream happen. It's going to probably take me a while to do like the inner child one and the eighth house one, but it's all written out. Maybe not. Maybe I'll power through it and like get it out. But I do have a way that you can really connect to your higher self and really connect to your subconscious and really just start like creating your life on autopilot, every single day. As long as you're consistent with it, it's can be very effortless and magical and in flow, but it does take like the little bit of manifestation work to be able to do that and to get into that higher alignment. Okay, Scorpio, if you would like a reading, check out my link in bio. Hi, Sagittarius. Okay, so this is happening in your third house and fourth house, and you might be pushed in destined directions when it comes to community, writing, speaking, learning, teaching. You could receive many just downloads and insights, because the third house rules the mind to, visions and just like inspirations, the way to innovate things that really pushes you to, or that allows you to like free up more of your time and your energy. And then it also like allows you to go towards more relationships and like-minded people, and to create with like-minded people that are just like there's this synergy with, there's this flow with, versus, and you're amplifying each other's frequency versus feeling like you need to force push, whatever. And this is also happening in your fourth house. So maybe the way that your mindset is changing, this could change the way that you set up your home. So this would be a good time to declutter the home. This is also a great time to get rid of stuff that get rid of stuff that you don't really need around the house, really lighten up the energy, lighten up the vibe, go through a redecoration. If you work from home, this is a great time to restructure things, to kind of get organized in a different way. And internally, you're definitely getting into alignment. You could be going through a lot of past stories from childhood or whatever, and releasing it, feeling it. Like, don't think you're, weird or whatever for deeper emotions coming up to be released. Like, that's how, like, even if it's from out of nowhere, you're not a bad person. Like, it's just coming up to be released. So you lighten up your frequency. So you have more freedom out in the world. And so you're actually truly more so resonant with who you truly are in the core of your soul and your inner being. And when you let that process happen and maybe you let yourself go hermit mode for a little bit, it does give you a lot of lightness and a lot of flexibility out in the world. And yeah, I like how there's going to be a trine to Jupiter. So significant relationships could come in. You could have very open-hearted communication with any significant relationships. And this could be one-on-one, romantic, your significant other. I know Jupiter is in the 8th house with, in tropical for you. So it is like, there is a lot of luck with just going deep with certain relationships. So you can find that expansion and that vulnerability. And when you can be vulnerable with the right relationships, then you just it's like you merge, you're tight in a whole new way. But yeah, that can lead to a lot of growth with the right relationships and, going fast, like getting married and moving in together. Actually, this could be like, you could be moving in with somebody, just having those conversations. And yeah, it's all about really aligning with your future vision and what you truly want. And then moving from there. If you want to manifest in a relationship, this would be the time. If you're on dating apps, you can meet somebody, but again, with the retrograde, there's going to be a little bit of a back and forth. But yeah, you're finding the way that you can take the lead in life. And this came out for Scorpio too, because the leadership came out, this polar bear. Like, you kind of know that you're ready to step up and lead. And I think, you were like frozen for a very long time and moving very slowly. But now, like, stuff is picking up. And that was the year of the snake, us shedding, us like really getting rid of everything so we can really like defrost ourselves and like start living in alignment, directly connected to source, like in knowing that we were always connected to source. And yeah, it's scary when you think you're disconnected, but there's always the downloads and the insights and the knowing that you can always tap into. So you can always be in alignment with your vision and with your higher self and with the dreams that you're really supposed to be manifesting. So know that blessings are coming your way too. Blessings. Just, and look for the beauty, like be mindful, like while you're clearing out your vibration and everything, like be high vibe as much as you can so you can be on your miracle timeline. Because at the same time, this is pointing you in a certain direction where there's signs, synchronicities, people, fated meetings, fated ideas, visions, writing ideas that just pop in and stuff like that, like fated creations even. Like, if you don't act on your idea, somebody else will act on your idea, because that's how ideas work. It's like part of the collective. And if it's just being at that right frequency to receive that idea. If you're at the right frequency, then you're going to receive that idea. And you can make your blessings happen in a very easy way. So yeah, know that don't be afraid to have a little bit of downtime, to move slowly with the slow polar bear, but receive the downloads and the insights and the inspiration, because that will lead you to a lot of blessings. And yeah, if you want to manifest in a relationship, great time to do it. If you want to deepen your bond with your current relationship, great time to do that also. Okay, Sagittarius, if you would like a reading, check out my link in bio. And I do have a community coming out in this next month, so stay tuned for that. But it's going to have a bunch of manifesting techniques. So you can kind of know how to hop on, how to connect to your higher self, how to hop onto your dream timeline, and a ton of stuff like that. All the tools and techniques that I've really just had for a while, and I've had it in my notebook. I'm like, why don't I start sharing this, to people, because I think it would help them, obviously. So that'll be in my community later. And yeah, so keep your eye out for that if you're interested. Capricorn, this is for Capricorn, yes. Okay, this is an exciting one for you, Capricorn, because I feel like this is just a, pivotal time for you anyway, because we're going through the Saturn-Neptune conjunction. And yeah, this Mercury retrograde is, kind of happening. It's happening in your third house and your second house. So you could be going through a big shift when it comes to your mentality and your schedule. And just like you figured out, you can't really schedule things. You just need to surrender. You need to go with the flow. You need to connect to your higher self. You need to live from your heart and your body. And that's actually the way that you're going to be able to schedule things the best and to be in your highest, most abundant quantum flow, to create your best reality. So you can, connect with your higher self on a daily basis, reprogram your subconscious. So you start creating your life like more so from your subconscious on autopilot, where it's a lot easier to do that, like getting out of the mind, getting into the subconscious, letting just the life force flow through you, every day to like create the things that you need to create. And yeah, more flow, less structure, being very heart-based, letting that guide you towards the right ideas and visions and people that you're meant to co-create with. And there's going to be a push towards like co-collaborations in groups that you might be working with, that you can really build with. And it is about letting yourself go towards that, going towards like-minded people that are more so on the same frequency, on the same vibe. And you just feel like there's a synergy there, like you're pumping each other up. There's ideas, there's abundance, there's expansion, there's like so much more when you're with the right people versus the wrong people. It creates like a lot of friction. And yeah, you can receive major downloads and insights to like, monetize something, to input a new income stream, to just have a revolutionary idea that nobody has ever done before. Because that's what you really get when you connect to your higher self, is those revolutionary ideas that need to be created that can make you a lot of abundance, also a lot of money. I won't just say abundance, because abundance can be a bunch of different things. But money, because it's the second house. And it's all about you being authentic to yourself with what you truly value and going towards that, prioritizing that, even if it's the unknown, even if it's different, even if you don't know where you're going, like even if it seems a little revolutionary or radical, like open yourself up to it, open yourself up to the opportunities and see the expansion that it can bring. This is also going to be a great retrograde to really have conversations with certain people and see if they're in alignment or not in alignment. My cat just started snoring so loud. Like he snores really, really loud. Okay. But like conversations with relationships, there can be a lot of healing, a lot of compassion. And then you kind of know, like you're activating your voice chakra. You're letting yourself like really like speak up, out in the world, like with your desires and with your vulnerability and who you truly are. And when you do that, and you just can do that from a place of not caring like how people are going to take it or how it's going to be received by the world, you gain a lot of access to your power. And literally, like your throat chakra does connect you to higher dimensions. So you do like receive more downloads and insights too. But yeah, really be open to your dream and your vision and connecting to your dream and your vision every single day, making that a priority because that can really, you can really manifest in a really easy flowing way, like really in flow with your higher self. And this can give you so much more expansion and opportunities when it comes to work and the way you structure things and ideas and breakthroughs and people that are just like super, super aligned. So yeah, I think that's it. Let's see what else. Pleasure. That makes sense. You're too serious. So you need to this Virgo got this too. So it's like you're too serious and you are shooting yourself in the foot by being too serious because when you're too serious, you stay in the ego and you only create from the ego when the brilliance is in with your higher self. And you just need to go within. You need to connect to your higher self on a more often basis. Okay. The magic is already within you. It's not externally. The more you find that magic deep within you and you activate your DNA and you kind of have this remembrance and these knowings and you're really just getting in tune with a certain vision or visions. A vision already exists in reality. It's all about just choosing that vision every single day and aligning your frequency with that vision so the pieces can come together from flow, not force, to make your highest dreams come true. But it's within you. And to be able to access that which is already within you is you do have to get a little less serious. You do have to go towards pleasure. You do have to let yourself, get into your inner child, dream the dream. The inner child is the bridge to like your higher self and the other timelines. You know, we had such a vivid imagination when we were kids. So you got to let yourself get back into your inner child. Oh yeah, this is squaring Uranus in the fifth house. So that makes sense. Breakthroughs with getting back into your inner child. And I feel like, like, I don't know why this story is coming up again, but yeah, in 2016, we were like up here, on a frequency band and it's like, we're here again, but we were down here for the past like 9 years and now it's like time to get back up, so, and you'll do that by following your pleasure, following your passion, really, receiving that vision, and following that excitement and your curiosity takes you towards where you're supposed to go. Your inner child and what you liked doing as a kid tells you what you should actually be doing because that is a part of your purpose. So the more that you prioritize pleasure and fun in your everyday life, the more that you're going to receive these downloads, insights, inspirations, like whatever really wants to come into your orbit. And the more that you can really like access the wisdom that is really meant for you. So yeah, the vision, the magical, mystical vision is within you. This ethereal vision or version of you is within you too. I definitely recommend doing like higher self-embodiment work. Definitely check out my community when it comes out because this is all about embodying your higher self in the year of the fire horse. Because I am and yourself is the most important thing when it comes to manifesting. You have to be it to have it. And you just have to start being it consistently every single day to start tricking your subconscious into just like, this isn't my reality now. This is like how I've always lived reality. And then it just becomes a natural thing and it's just very effortless. And I have a bunch of tools in there that will allow you to reprogram your subconscious. So creating your dream life is just like automatic and fun and on autopilot. And yeah, it is just doing it in that easy way that is more so from your soul path. That is your original soul path and destiny. And like, yeah, you only get that if you actually connect within versus looking externally. You're stepping into your higher self because you're remembering and you're anchoring it. And then the pleasure and the magic and the work can happen all flow and it can happen all flow in synchronistically. What is happening? Mercury's already retrograde. Okay, but yeah, you're finding the way that you can flow towards the bigger dream. And I love how freaking big that moon is not that big on this card. Like it just looks so much bigger on the camera. So know that your dream is bigger because there's an optic illusion happening here. Um, okay, all right, Capricorn, thank you so much. Keep an eye out for my community if you're interested. And if you would like a reading, check out my link in bio.